If you lose this, you lose everything. There's something in life that, if lost, will take everything with it. Something so essential, so powerful, that without it, nothing else matters. It's not money. It's not fame. It's not even success. It's something that doesn't show up on your resume, something that no one can see. But it shapes every decision you make and defines your very essence. What happens when you lose it? The world seems to crumble around you. Opportunities slip away, relationships fall apart, and that deep sense of fulfillment you once had begins to fade. The worst part? You might not even realize that you've lost it until it's too late. What is this thing? It's self-respect. Self-respect is the foundation of your being. It's the inner conviction that tells you that you are worthy, that your actions matter, that you have the right to take up space in this world. When you lose it, you lose your ability to stand tall in the face of adversity. You lose your power to make decisions based on what is right for you. You lose your connection to your own values and purpose. But how do you lose self-respect? It's subtle at first, almost imperceptible. It begins when you let other people's opinions define you, when you prioritize others' approval over your own peace of mind, when you let fear dictate your actions. Each time you compromise your principles to fit in, each time you silence your own truth to avoid conflict, a little piece of your self-respect slips away. You might not notice it in the moment. Maybe you even tell yourself that you're just being pragmatic or doing what's necessary. But those compromises, however small, add up over time. Eventually, you're left with a hollow shell, a person who doesn't know who they are anymore. And without self-respect, everything else becomes meaningless. Without self-respect, you lose your ability to trust yourself. Every decision becomes a guessing game. You rely on the validation of others to feel good, and when it's not there, you crumble. You stop trusting your instincts, and the more you doubt yourself, the more you lose touch with the person you used to be. And eventually, you forget how to stand up for what you believe in. You lose something even more precious, your ability to say no. Saying no is not just a word, it's a shield. It's a boundary that protects your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. When you lose your self-respect, you lose the strength to protect those boundaries. You become afraid of disappointing others, so you say yes when you really mean no. You overcommit. You stretch yourself too thin, and eventually, you break. You lose control, and that's when the world starts spinning out of balance. But it's not just about the yes and no in others' lives. It's the yes you give to yourself. The moments when you should have stood up for your own well-being, your own desires, but instead, you stayed silent. You allowed others to dictate your happiness. You ignored your own needs in favor of what others wanted, until you were nothing but a shadow of your true self. That's the thing with self-respect. It isn't something that can be rebuilt overnight. Once it's gone, it takes time, effort, and brutal honesty with yourself to regain it. But the most devastating thing is realizing that you let it slip away piece by piece without ever noticing. The good news is, it's never too late to start building it back. But you need to recognize the truth first. You need to stop telling yourself that everything is fine when deep down, you know it isn't. You need to face the uncomfortable truth that you've been compromising yourself for too long. You need to look at the mirror and admit that you've lost something vital, and only you can bring it back. Regaining your self-respect requires courage. It requires the strength to say no to people, to situations, and to yourself when it's necessary. It means standing alone when everyone else is chasing fleeting approval. It means letting go of the need for external validation and looking inward for affirmation. You must stop living for others' expectations and start living for your own principles. Your life, your happiness, your self-worth must come from within. The first step to rebuilding that self-respect is to stop making excuses. It's time to take ownership of your life. Stop blaming circumstances, other people, or even your past for where you are right now. The only reason you are where you are is because of the choices you've made. And the beauty of life is that at any given moment, you can choose to change course. You can choose to take a stand for yourself. But it's hard. It's a fight against years of conditioning, against the pressure to conform, against the fear of rejection. The world tells you that if you don't compromise, if you don't give in, you'll be alone. But the truth is, you're already alone when you don't stand up for yourself. You're alone in your mind, in your heart, and in your soul when you give away your self-respect. You live in constant conflict with who you really are. When you lose your self-respect, you lose the ability to trust yourself. You second-guess your decisions, and even when you do act, you do so with hesitation and self-doubt. You no longer believe in your own worth. You seek approval from others because you've forgotten how to validate yourself. But approval from others is never enough. It never fills the emptiness within. The more you look outside for validation, the further you drift away from the person you were meant to be. You are your own source of power, and when you lose that, you lose everything. And this doesn't just affect your personal life. It spills into your professional world, your relationships, and even the way you view your future. When you lose your self-respect, you stop standing up for what you deserve. You tolerate bad behavior, take on too much responsibility, and accept situations that diminish your worth. You convince yourself that you're not worthy of better. But deep down, you know the truth. You were never meant to settle. You were meant for more. The thing is, it's not just the loss of self-respect that hurts you. It's the gradual erosion of your sense of identity. Without self-respect, you begin to lose touch with who you really are. You no longer recognize yourself in the mirror. The person staring back at you is a version of you that was molded by others. A version that's trying to please, to conform, to fit in. The moment you stop being yourself is the moment you stop truly living. You become a shadow of what you could be, a mere spectator in your own life. So, what do you do to regain it? You start by setting boundaries. You draw the line where you've allowed others to cross. You start saying no, even when it feels uncomfortable. You stop compromising your values and begin making decisions that align with who you are, not who others want you to be. It may be tough at first, especially when you're used to seeking approval, but this is where the real freedom begins. Freedom comes from self-respect, and self-respect comes from making choices that honor your true self. It's not about being perfect or always getting it right. It's about recognizing your worth and not allowing anyone, including yourself, to diminish it. You are worth fighting for. You deserve peace, happiness, and success on your terms, not on the terms that others have set for you. But it's hard. It's hard to let go of the people and situations that have become your comfort zone, even if they are toxic. It's hard to stop seeking validation from others when that's what you've always known. But the longer you wait, the more you lose. Every day that you live without self-respect, you let pieces of yourself slip away. You lose your strength, your direction, your purpose. It's time to take your power back. It's time to stop living a life based on fear, doubt, and the approval of others. It's time to start living for yourself, to speak your truth, to set your boundaries, and to honor your worth. You don't need anyone's permission to be who you are. You are enough. As you begin to rebuild your self-respect, something incredible happens. You start to regain your sense of inner peace. The constant noise of the world, the expectations, and the pressures begin to fade into the background. You no longer feel like you're being pulled in a million different directions. You begin to make decisions from a place of clarity and purpose. not from a place of fear or insecurity. But regaining your self-respect is not just about what you do on the outside. It's about what happens on the inside. It's about reconnecting with the essence of who you are. When you lose your self-respect, you forget your own values, your own dreams, and your own desires. You start living for others, and in doing so, you lose the very core of your being. But when you regain your self-respect, you reconnect with your inner strength, your true purpose, and your authentic self. You'll find that the things that used to matter, the opinions of others, the need to please, the constant pursuit of approval, begin to lose their power over you. You stop living for everyone else. Instead, you begin to live for yourself. You begin to honor your truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might make others. You begin to trust your decisions, knowing that you are the expert on your own life. And when you make mistakes, you don't punish yourself. Instead, you learn, you grow, and you move forward with a sense of pride in who you are. But here's the truth. Self-respect doesn't come easily. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to confront the parts of yourself that have been hiding in the shadows. It requires you to face your fears, your insecurities, and your doubts. But in facing those things, you will find the strength you never knew you had. Self-respect is the foundation of everything. Without it, you can't trust your own decisions. You can't stand firm in your beliefs, and you can't move forward with confidence. But once you regain it, you'll realize that it was the key all along. It was the one thing you needed to unlock your true potential, to stop living in the shadows, and to step into the light. You'll also realize that you don't need the approval of others to feel worthy. The world can tell you what it wants. It can feed you lies, set impossible standards, and create an illusion of success. But at the end of the day, it's your own approval that matters. It's your own sense of worth that defines your happiness. You are enough. You've always been enough. And now, you have the power to reclaim what you've lost. So don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect moment, for things to fall into place, or for someone else to give you permission. Start now. Start rebuilding your self-respect, one decision at a time. Start setting boundaries, speaking your truth, and making choices that align with your values. The longer you wait, the more you lose. You've already lost enough. It's time to stop losing yourself. It's time to take back your power, your dignity, and your future. You deserve a life filled with peace, purpose, and pride. But none of that is possible without self-respect. You don't need anyone's approval. You need your own. As you start to rebuild your self-respect, you begin to understand that it's not just about saying no to others. It's about saying yes to yourself. This is where the true transformation happens. You start to listen to your own voice, the voice that has been drowned out by the expectations and pressures of the world. You stop looking for permission to live your life the way you want, and instead, you give yourself that permission. It's a long road, and the people around you may not understand why you're making these changes. They might question your decisions, challenge your choices, or try to pull you back into the comfort of the old patterns. But this is the moment when you realize that your life is not about pleasing others. It's about standing firm in your own truth and embracing the journey that is uniquely yours. It's hard, because letting go of old habits, people, and mindsets requires courage. It's easier to stay in the comfort of familiarity, even if that familiarity is toxic. But when you make the decision to walk away from that comfort zone, to stop seeking validation from others, you'll feel something shift inside you. That shift is your power coming back. It's the recognition that you don't need anyone else's approval to be whole, to be happy, or to live a life of meaning. As you continue this journey of rebuilding your self-respect, you begin to notice something else. your world starts to change. The people you attract, the opportunities that come your way, and the way you view yourself all shift dramatically. When you regain your self-respect, you start to see yourself through a different lens, a lens of strength, confidence, and clarity. And the world reflects that back to you. People start treating you differently, not because you're demanding respect, but because you're embodying it. You've become a force to be reckoned with. But there's still work to do. You still have to face the moments when doubt creeps in, when old habits resurface, and when fear tries to convince you that you're not enough. These moments are inevitable, but they're not signs of failure. They're opportunities to reinforce the boundaries you've set for yourself. They're moments for you to practice self-love and remind yourself that you are worthy even in the face of adversity. When you regain your self-respect, you don't become immune to challenges. What you gain is the strength to face them head-on. You stop running from difficulty, stop shrinking from conflict, and start embracing life with all its ups and downs. You realize that every obstacle is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can handle whatever life throws your way. And each time you face a challenge with dignity and courage, your self-respect grows even stronger. There is a beautiful power in knowing that you're enough, just as you are. You don't need to change who you are to fit in. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy. Your worth is inherent, not something that can be earned or given by someone else. It's time to stop living for the approval of others. It's time to start living for yourself. Self-respect is not about arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than others. It's about knowing that you are enough, without needing anyone to tell you so. It's about living your life with integrity, staying true to your values, and being unapologetically yourself. The more you honor yourself, the more the world will honor you. So take that first step. It might be a small one, but it's the most important step you can take. Stop waiting for someone else to validate your worth. Stop seeking permission to be who you are. Start living your life on your terms. And when you do, you'll see that everything begins to fall into place. When you regain your self-respect, you don't just change your own life, you change the world around you. Your actions, your decisions, and your energy will inspire others to do the same. You become a beacon of truth, strength, and authenticity. People will be drawn to your energy, to your confidence, and to the way you stand tall in a world that tries to push you down.